Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Stream of Card Consciousness. I am Mark Ford. It is an extreme pleasure, one of the highlights of my life. Tonight, I am joined by the great Jerry Butler, Robb Riddick, and Robert Radar Holt, Buffalo Bills legends, alumni, some of the best players I ever saw play. And it's just an honor to have them with me tonight. Guys, how y'all doing tonight?
Doing good, Mark.
Yeah, survived the storm so far.
Right on. So before we got going, you guys were telling some great stories. So I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna say, Jerry, what was it for you to be a Buffalo Bill? What did it mean for you to be a Buffalo Bill?
Well, to be a Buffalo Bills, I grew up in South Carolina. I grew up on the farm, and we had a lot of fun on the farm. And I never laughed so much dealing with animals, doing crazy things, just being eccentric. And I've always had my brothers and my uncles, my family. We're just very eccentric people. Radar knows very well. He's coming very.
Now I want to know what y'all doing them animals that had y'all laughing.
He's come down to visit several times.
Was the animals laughing too?
As long as they got their food, they were happy. and so and go to I went to Clemson University because I thought, none against anybody else's college, but I felt personally it was a very high spirited uh, university and very enthusiastic, and I was spot on with that. And I always said at the next level, I wanted to go to a city that amplified that same spirit. And the only thing is, you don't get to really choose back then where you go to. I think God aligns those situations for you, and I was very blessed and fortunate to be chosen by the Buffalo Bills. And not knowing what I'm going to expect by coming here, what I do remember is that, son, don't. My mother said, son, don't worry about anything. God's in control. You're going to the right place at the right time. And I came with that spirit. And as I introduced myself to the community, man, I made so many friends right off the bat, and just the spirit of the fans was it's just second to none. And I've always loved that, and I wind up staying in Buffalo and marrying a Buffalo girl. So I was all in. My chips were all in. So yeah, thanks,
Right on.
Buffalo.
All right, Rob. How about Robb Riddick? What was it for you to be a Buffalo Bill?
Well, when I first got the phone call, the only thing I could think of was Buffalo. I mean, there's nothing in Buffalo but snow. I mean, I was a Raider fan. I liked the Dolphins, and I was really hoping to go to one of those two cities. But when the guy called me from Buffalo, I'm like, well, I guess I'm here. He's like, you're gonna like it. You're gonna really enjoy it. And I made Buffalo home. I mean, when I first moved up there in '81, I lived in an apartment for 3 years, and then I bought a house. I built a house, and that was going to be my home. I grew up in Philadelphia, which was only like a 5 hour ride, so I could go back and forth, see the family all the time without, too much trouble. But I love the city. Being the party animal that I was, I mean, it was easy for me to go out and like bars are open till 4. I can stay out during the off season. I can get back to pulling. I enjoyed all my time up there.
Robert Radar Holt. How about you being a Buffalo Bill?
Oh man, these two other guys that you got on here, I'm gonna tell you, only thing I'm like Riddick. The only thing I knew about Buffalo, they had, and all of us have like teams picked out we want to go to, teams picked out we don't want to go to. And one of the teams I had picked out was the Cowboys because I live 15 minutes from Grand Prairie, which is a suburb of Dallas. So I was kind of upset that they didn't pick me. I was also upset that I went as late as I did. I was projected to go a lot higher than I did. But anyway, uh, the only the only thing I know about Buffalo, they used to have a Die-Hard battery commercial that used to come on television, and it said if your car was start in this in this snow, it'll start anywhere. So they wanted you to get that Die-Hard battery commercial, right? So so that's all I knew about Buffalo. But like these guys you got on here, like right, Jerry and Rob. As a matter of fact, these were probably the two main guys that I hung out with. They were the two main guys I hung out with when I was in Buffalo. JB was like on a whole nother level. I've been playing football ever since I was in 6th grade, and I never played with another receiver who I felt like, in my own opinion, who I felt like was better than me. And I got to Buffalo, and I saw JB, and I was like, oh my God, this dude right here. And then Riddick was a hell of a football player too, and me and him, boy.
You were my first roommate.
Huh?
Yeah. I said you were my first roommate
Yeah.
in training camp, and we just hit it off right away.
Yep. But that's what made my years. I mean, I stayed injured probably more than anybody else, but these guys made my years what it was. And even to this day, like the camaraderie, that we still stay in touch with each other. We don't stay in touch with each other as much as we used to. Me and JB talk to each other quite often, but I mean, just the type people they are, the type people they were, and the type people they still are, made it all worthwhile for me. After getting to know these guys and becoming, friends with these guys and everything, I would not have rather have been anywhere else other than Buffalo. I'll put
Yes.
it that.
Now, I see we got Sidney Justin
Didn't it?
hanging out here. He's got to turn the camera on and join me. There he is.
Hey,
What's
yeah.
up? What's up, fellas?
Sidney
What's up, Sid?
Justin.
What's
Look at
going on, man?
superstar over there.
Right.
Yeah.
He takes it from football to singer. So
Yeah.
to talk, Sidney, how you doing? I'm Mark Ford.
Awesome,
Thanks for
Sidney.
jumping in on our Buffalo Bills Roundtable.
What's up, Mark? How you doing, man?
Good, man. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah,
you on
for sure.
tour? What's going on? Are you?
Yeah, we're doing a bunch of stuff right now. We have a tour coming up with the VA. So with the VA, Veterans Administration. So we're gonna be doing that. So that's gonna be great.
Wow, that's a good gig, man.
Hopefully we're gonna do it like 40 cities, I think they said. So hopefully we can come to Buffalo.
Well, I'm in Florida, so I'm in between Tampa and Orlando. So if you get down to Florida, well, I'll definitely check you out. For those of you who don't know, Sidney Justin is singing for the Miracles. Smokey Robinson, now it's Sidney Justin with the Miracles. So it's pretty,
Yep.
not just football,
Yep.
just talented dude all around, and that's amazing.
Yeah, there was a video I think Radar just sent out, and I was with one of my clients, and I said, I played with this guy 35 years ago. So I started playing your music, and everybody, wow, he got a great voice. And I said, that was it. He used to walk through the locker room going for that stuff too.
He did, didn't he, really?
Yep.
Sidney, you know what I remember? You know what I remember? I got to tell my Sidney Justin story.
All right.
Like Riddick said, he used to walk through the locker room singing, and I still remember you telling us that you was gonna be in the group Shalimar.
Yeah.
I knew all about Shalimar. I knew all about Shalimar because I was a big Jeffrey Daniels fan with the pop locking and all that stuff.
Right.
I was really into that stuff. But anyway, I remember I was watching Dick Clark, and it was one New Year's Eve where the ball drops, where they dropped the ball and all that kind of stuff in New York. And he introduced the group. He said, he said, Shalimar's coming on. And I had forgotten about what you had said.
Right.
So I used to watch it every year. So Shalimar came on, and y'all came out, and he started introducing people. Mickey Free. I forgot the girl's name. But Mickey Free. And I'd be damned if he didn't say Sidney Justin. I said, well, I'd be damned. I said, he told us. I said, look at it. I said, oh, my God. Yeah, so that's my Sidney Justin story right there. I still remember that, man, like it was yesterday, So
yeah, I tell you, it's so funny, man, because the Miracles was something that when I was in high school, I got offered the opportunity in high school to join the Miracles then, and then I turned it down because I got a football scholarship. So I just like, you know what? Now I'm gonna go on and go play football, and I can always sing. I never thought I'd ever get back to the Miracles. I never thought that would ever come back around, but it did. And man, I tell you what, it's been a blessing for me,
Yes.
So God is good, man. God is really good.
Perseverance. Yeah.
Amen.
That's awesome.
Don't ever give up on your dream.
No.
That's
Don't
right.
ever give up on your dream.
That's right, man. That's what I try to tell these young kids today. Don't listen to other people's opinions of you. Create your own opinion of yourself, and you know what I mean, and then work at it. And that's what I did. I just continued to work. So
Right. You're right.
But,
don't ever let anybody else define who you are. I used to tell them high school students that all the time too.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Don't ever let them define who you are. You know who you are. You stick to it. And like Malcolm X said, by no means necessary. You don't let anybody knock you off that road to stop you from going where where you're trying to go. So
That's right.
that's what it's all about. That's how we all got to the NFL.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's right. No
all
doubt.
of us. That's how we all got there.
100%.
Man, well,
Yes, sir.
let me go. I gotta go get my wife and bring her in here. Let her hear this.
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'll
bring
be-
it on in.
You might lose her. You might lose her.
Hey, all these handsome guys in here, Jerry. I don't know. Bring her
You better
on.
leave
Bring her
you better
on.
leave your wife in that West Hill. You might lose her, boy.
I flip the coin.
I tell Radar, I tell Radar all the time. I said, brother, man, you inspire me. I mean, look at you, man. I
What?
gotta get pumping up.
Man, hey, I just told JB this story the other day. But I guess about 10 years ago, I was a high school assistant principal, and they had a weightlifting bench pressing contest, and I went out there and I put up 315. Right, I had 345-pound plates on each end. Like that's 10 years ago now, and I did that because I wanted them high school students to know, don't be messing with, don't come up here thinking you can. Don't start no. I tell you like Floyd Mayweather, I'm undefeated. Don't come up here and start no mess. But I told JB the other day, I said, you know what I got out there in my garage now? I got my bench press machine out there. I got a 25-pound plate on one end and a 25-pound plate on the other end.
And that's it. And
I'm
that's
all
the
right
struggle.
with that. I'm all right with it. I ain't trying to.
There you go.
I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you.
Man. Those days long gone, boy.
Mhm.
Long gone.
You can't knock them out with one hit. Now you just got to hit them 10 times.
Dude, I'm lucky to even get out there in the garage 2 or 3 times a week. Shoot, it ain't but two or three steps away. But anyway, it's all good.
Yeah, man.
But no, these guys, Mark, oh my God, man, we had so much. I think about not just the accomplishments on the field, but just in the locker room, just the camaraderie we have with each other, the way everybody gelled together. And man, like I said, it's even evident now because all of us are still, in contact with each other. We pick up the phone and just like we just spoke to each other, or we just played with each other like yesterday. It just shows you the type people that that Bill's organization had on the team. And like I said, if I had to do it all over again, I'd go right back to Buffalo.
Yeah.
If I had a chance to, to spend the rest of my life with like I said, these guys you got on here, and that, I'd be right back in Buffalo. So I'd take the snow and everything else that came with it. So
I can say
Do
from
they
a
still have
fan,
the
the
team
fan
meetings and stuff?
standpoint, I never had a bad day at the Bills game. I was telling Jerry before we came on,
Yeah.
I didn't care if we won, if we lost. I was hanging out with my dad. It was Rich Stadium. I was saying my earliest memory was going up the War Memorial Stadium in 1972. I'm on my dad's shoulder, and he had a pony tag on the other. And you can't do that anymore, but, that was my earliest memory. And then it transferred to Rich Stadium. We sat in Section B2, and I never had a bad time. I was happy to be at the game, watching you all play. And sometimes it would be like, oh my God, it's the fourth quarter. I was just there with my dad. I always sat on the right. He sat on the left. And it was just such a thread with me and my dad. And if it wasn't for you all, our relationship, maybe we wouldn't have that bond that we still have. He's 90 years old, still with us. God bless him, loves the Bills. And so it's just like a constant. So I understand that family because, I could see it from the stands. And, it's very evident.
yeah. We can see it from the stands every now and then too, because when we was injured, that's where they put us.
I have one question.
You remember that, Rick? You remember that, Rick?
Yep.
I got to tell that story. I remember we went down to Florida. As a matter of fact, Florida, where you are right now, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
And we played the Dolphins in Tampa Bay. We was down there 2 weeks.
Yep.
Me and Mosley, we was on injury reserve. So we had to be. I was Daria Harris, and I think Mosley was like Matt Moore or whatever. I ain't never in my life put another man's jersey on, but I had to wear those. I had to wear, somebody else's jersey. But anyway, we was giving them a good picture of the defense and everybody, and we was telling JB and everybody, Joe Creel, and then we was saying, if y'all score a touchdown, it was a national televised game. We said, if y'all score a touchdown, we're going to come sit by y'all on the bench so, everybody, our family can see us on TV. Well, about 15 minutes before the game started, Doug Knox came in the locker room. He gave me and Mosley tickets.
Up in the stands.
Those tickets were like 3 rows from the top of the stadium.
Yep.
We was trying to figure out how we going to get on TV if we way up here at the at the top of this state, oh man, it was a little boy. He was talking to us, and we found out he was from Texas. He had to be about 12, 13 years old. And we talking about Texas, and he said, so after we talked to him for a while, we said, well, where were you the first? We said, you weren't up here the first half, where were you? He said, I was down on the sideline. And he showed us the sideline pass. And I said, oh, no, you what? He said his dad and Chuck Knox were good friends. I said, well, I'll be doggone. That boy, me and Moses looked at each other. We were so high.
Y'all in the stands and they on the sideline.
Yeah, we all up in the nosebleed section. I was trying to get on TV in the nosebleed section. So
yeah.
We had that stadium in view also. So I understand where you're coming from with that one.
He should have aired it out a little more at ground chalk. That was my opinion. But
yeah.
Look at the receivers. The radar, Jerry Butler, Frank Lewis, had Joe Cribbs. Joe Cribbs was such a unique player. He turned kicks, ran. I mean, he was holy cow. And then the USF.
Robb Riddick.
Yeah. I cursed the USFL. They raided my Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, we had some athletes on that team.
Definitely.
Had a whole bunch of athletes on that team.
And we had fun. I mean, I don't know what kind of stuff they do outside of football right now, but back in our day, I mean, our team parties on Monday nights and just at a different club. We had a lot of fun back in the day. We can't tell all them stories.
Did what?
But then you can't tell all them stories.
Yeah,
I remember one over. Just a little prelude. One over in Radar's room when you were over in Buffalo South, and we came over. JB came by, but that's all I'm gonna say.
All right, where's the button? Where's the button where we get off this Zoom?
Yeah.
No, we had a lot of fun. Me and Riddick used to ride around Buffalo on that motorcycle.
And now I have two of them. I still ride every day.
No, I'm saying back in the day. We used to ride around on that motorcycle.
Yep, I sold that one, and now I have me two nice size Harleys, and I ride all the time.
And you know what, Riddick? I must have been the biggest fool in the world. I said, how was I riding around on the back of a motorcycle with a grown ass man? Like, you couldn't pay me to get on that motorcycle now, boy.
With your arms wrapped around him.
Huh?
With your arms wrapped around his waist. I saw you.
Yeah, what was I thinking?
Sticking me in the back and shit.
Huh?
Sticking me in the back.
hey, JB, and him purposely finding bumps in the road to go over and all that.
Yeah.
I'm just joking.
Now we got somebody else that jumped in here. I'm asking him to unmute, so I don't have a name on there. I got a phone number, but
that's Kilson, isn't it? That's his number.
Come on in.
Here, Roy. That's the preacher man.
Yeah, I'd like to hear from him.
He's a minister now. So, Riddick, you got to get your act together now.
Oh, man. I got to watch my mouth.
If you could unmute and come on in and join the conversation.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We hear you, but we don't.
Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening.
How are you, Mr. Kilson?
Good evening.
David Kilson.
I'm doing okay.
All right. Well, we don't have you on video, but we got your voice. That'll work too if you don't have video.
How did I miss the video? I don't know how to mention.
Would you got a flip phone?
Oh man!
Hey, they're coming back. Man.
You got a burner.
I don't know. No.
That's all right.
I don't know what's going on.
We'll leave it at that one then.
I don't know what's going on, but I'm glad to hear some of the stories you guys are telling.
All right.
Glad to hear. I'm sitting here right now. I'm threading my officials gear. I got a double header baseball game I got to do in the morning.
Dang, boy, you can still run?
You got a referee?
No. I'm the umpire, but no, I can't run.
Hey, all right,
matter of fact, I got what's called drop toe. Do you know what that is?
You got what?
Yeah.
Drop toe.
It's called drop toe. Because I got some vertebrae that's pinching some nerves in my back and my right foot. I can't lift it up to put my socks, drawers, or pants on.
That's
Yep.
That's a
You
little
TMI.
too
know
much
what? Your wife
information.
ain't on the channel. You
TMI.
done gave her
That's
that
a little too
story.
much information there.
TMI. I
Yeah,
heard. I
that's
heard.
almost as much. That's almost as much information as telling one of those stories over at the Buffalo club over there next across the street from the airport.
No, we don't want to talk about that either.
Oh, yeah.
Right, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to talk that was a little much. That was a little much for a rookie at that time. That was a little much.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to be on here.
When I came to Buffalo, believe it or not, as a rookie, we had training camp in Niagara Falls. I don't know if anybody on here actually had training camp at Niagara Falls, and obviously the rookies had to come in early. And a lot of guys don't know it, but actually in college, I was the backup holder, and the kicker in college was a soccer style kicker. So when I came to Buffalo, we had a straight on kicker. Do you guys remember who he was? He had half a foot.
Oh, Tom Dempsey.
Dempsey.
Tom Dempsey.
Dempsey.
Right. And so I got to go through the season. Tom wasn't. I guess they didn't really know if he was going to make the team or not. But the guy had an amazing leg, and so I'm the guy that's got a hole for him. Catch the ball, put it down. He's a straight on kicker, and as a receiver. I mean, I look back at that thing, man. He had like a big board strapped on that foot. I look at this thing, and he's wiping my hands out every time, and I'm like, he says, "All right, rookie, you gotta keep your hands in there." I'm like, oh, okay, man. He comes through again with that thing, bang. I'm like, God, dang it. So I said, all right. I said, look, you hit my hand. I said, now, you hit my hand one more time. Now I'm not gonna do this. He said, if you drop that ball one more time, I'm gonna put this half a foot upside your head. I thought he was serious too. So I jumped up and took off running. And and unfortunately, obviously I had to go back and hold for the guy. But I tell you what, that was an amazing experience to see a kicker with that kind of talent, with that style. That was straight up old school.
Sure.
You've never seen things like that. So we had a very interesting group starting out. Now I started out, like I said, in 1979. You didn't come in until the 80s.
Yeah.
We had cleaned up a lot of things by the time y'all got there.
Riddick, do you remember the kicker that was there when we was there?
Joe Danello?
Something like that.
Had a bunch of them.
No. What's the one that remember we
Mickemeyer?
did the what? Oh no,
Mickemeyer, right? Nick
no,
Mickemeyer?
no. Anderson, Gary Anderson.
Oh, he got cut. Yeah, and then we cut.
You know why?
He got cut with the Pittsburgh and was all pro.
You know why they let him go? Remember why they let him go? The rookie show. Remember he impersonated Chuck?
Oh,
Chuck.
That's right.
Remember that he had the cigar and he had the big pill on his shirt like he was Chuck Knox? And the next day he was gone.
Yeah.
That dude went on to become the all-time league kicker in the NFL history.
Sure did.
Yep. Yeah, Gary Anderson. I think he came in the same year we did, I believe.
Yeah,
That was a
I don't
bad
remember when he came.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember you talking about snappers, JB, talking about snapping the ball like that. Was it Trey Junkin?
Yeah.
Remember him?
Yeah.
They let him go. They let Trey Junkin ran that 4.3 and a 40 every time he lined up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Until that time he ran down on kickoffs.
Well, they let Hellestrade go. Also, he went to Dallas and got a Super Bowl ring.
Who did?
Dale Hellestrade.
Hellestrade, yeah.
Okay. Trey Junkin, that dude snapped in the NFL for like 18, 19 years.
Yeah.
After they let him go. I still remember that too. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, you had some talent that came through there.
Oh,
you know? You had some guys that could play. I saw yo pick the ball up on the block punt return from the Rams and took it all the way to the house. I saw that Thursday too. That was nice, homie.
Yeah, man. Thanks, bro. But that
88.
That was a man. I pulled a ham on that too.
You know what? I saw that at the end of the video.
Yeah.
I
pulled it pretty good.
Well, that's still the record, right? That's the Bills' record for the longest fumble, 88 yards.
It was actually the Rams. It was actually on the Rams when I did it.
Yeah, but then Kilson, didn't you have the longest one with the Bills?
Yeah, 88 yards. Yeah.
Who did?
From what I understand, yes.
Dave.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep. I remember that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Go
88
Kilson.
yards.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
do.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay, yeah. And you know what else that goes with that record? I have the best average for fumble recoveries for a year.
That good old one.
Because I had like 4 or 5 fumbles that year, so they averaged it out and said I got for a career I have the long for fumble recovery.
Wow.
Now go figure that. All the rest of them were like 1 or 2 or 3 yards, but that one was 87. That one was 87.
That's nice,
Yep.
man.
Yeah, and by the way, Trey Junkin, 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was from our 83 class. Him and Gerald Green, 20 years.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, 20 years. That's right.
You know what I
Wow.
remember? I remember
20
when
years.
I remember when Junkin came in, he was telling everybody he's gonna run a 4.3 and a 40, and he bench press over 400 pounds. Everybody told him to go sit down. That day we ran a
Did he
40,
do it?
ran a 40-yard dash. He ran a 4.3, and they made him run it again because they thought it was wrong. And the second time he ran a 4.3 again. He bench pressed over 400. That boy, oh my God, that boy was like the perfect specimen.
Yeah.
Perfect specimen.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, he ended up playing. He had some longevity, snapping the ball. That's what he ended up doing. You know, he tried
20
linebacker,
years.
tight
20
end.
years.
20
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. H-back, I think he was. Yeah.
Yeah, he played a little bit. He
Yeah,
played a little
20
bit of
years.
everything. A little bit of everything. So yeah. But Mark, you know what's impressive about you?
What's that, brother?
Shoot, when I was reading your email, you was talking about you never missed a game for how many years?
38 years.
My gosh. You never missed one game.
No, sir.
Oh my God. 38. You probably got the record out there in Buffalo.
There's a few, there's some guys that have been around, but like I said, my dad started taking me when I was 3 years old, and
Yeah.
just became the thread, and it was great.
38 years, never missing a game. That's
Adopted,
Wow.
and I mean,
That's
I've
amazing,
seen it
Wait a
all.
minute. Did you say 38? Did you say
Yeah.
38 years?
38
38.
years. My dad started taking me when I was 3 years old, and the last year in the rock pile in 1972. And then until I moved to Florida, I didn't miss a game, a home game. And trust me, I shed some tears on opening day when I wasn't there in 2011. It broke my heart.
Yeah.
I was just always grateful to be able to go, and they'd sing the anthem. I'd always look back up behind me, up into the upper deck, and appreciate the moment and know that I was lucky because there's only so many NFL teams, but I was there with my dad and got to watch football, and I really appreciated it. And like I was telling the guys before you came on, David, that I never had a bad day at the Bills game. Win, lose, as often we would be engrossed in conversation and be, oh my God, it's the fourth quarter. What's going on in the game?
Yeah.
It was really great.
Wow.
I remember I said,
Wow.
your fumble and recovery, 88-yard Jerry going for 255 on the Jets and 4 touchdowns, Robb going over the top. I mean, I always felt radar. If he had played today, it'd be a different, set of circumstances. But he played so hard, man. I mean, he just played hard and left it all on the field.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's just was to be admired. And he was always one of my favorites. So I was kind of cheered for the guys that were like the backups or the underdogs, so to speak. So when I was,
Okay.
so you're talking 10, 11, 12, I was just fascinated with it all. And then I felt, and I would get mad, I always felt like the strike in 1982 really derailed the Bills. We had that Monday night game or Thursday night game. How odd was Thursday night football back then against the Vikings? We're losing 19-0. We come back. Jerry catches a touchdown at the end. We win the game, and then there's no football for 2.5 months. And it was like,
oh, wow.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
You the real
That was
deal,
82.
man. You the real deal.
Yeah.
38
38
games.
That was 1982.
Yeah.
That I was there at Thursday night football, man. Every game, it didn't matter. I seen the guy go across the wire against the Raiders, and and
Yeah.
Monday Night Football and all the crazy stuff. And it tore the goalposts down. We finally beat the Dolphins, and all that, all the way right up through the '80s, and with Robb and the Kelly coming, and then I may or may not have been on the goalpost in '88 when we beat the Jets doing the division. The rumor has it there's
That's
video
amazing.
of me bouncing up and down on the goalpost. I neither confirm or deny. My family says that's you. But then just from there, and then a lot of lean years, and then Drew Bledsoe, and then Doug Flutie, Drew Bledsoe. Now on with Josh Allen. So just it perpetuates itself.
That's impressive. That's very impressive.
Yeah,
You said you
Yeah.
remember
Really?
Kilson. You remember Kilson's fumble. You remember mine?
Refresh my
Monday
memory.
night. Mine and
What,
Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins? Oh.
Yeah. I remember they used to tell you running punts, but I never did really consider myself a punt returner. Them ball was too high up in the sky. Me be trying to follow it all the way down to the ground. and I remember I always used to look on the outside. The guys supposed to be holding up, and they would be running behind the opposing team. I'm like, man, y'all supposed to be in front of them. They running behind, chasing behind them. I was like, man, what they say when you get on the 10-yard line, up on the 10-yard line, and they say if you have to take a step back, let the ball go in the end zone. Right? Well, it was my first Monday night game. I knew the whole world. I was like, forget that. I'm finna run. I'm finna go 90, however many, 89 yards or whatever it was. And I still remember, dude, and I think I tripped when I was going back. It kind of threw me off balance. But, man, that dude fell on the ball, and I was like, oh, my God. I was like, dude, I will give you my whole pay. I'll give you my whole paycheck if you just slide that ball over here.
Hey, Radar. Hey, Radar. I got one. I don't know if it's as good as that, but they let me do the punt return against Chicago. Riddick, I don't know if you remember this, but they, whoever the punter was, he hit it really high. I caught it, and as soon as I looked down to try to make a step, two guys were diving at me, and all I could do was dive to the ground.
Wow.
So you've been there. So you know what it's like. You've been there too. You've been there too.
Yeah, I thought I was going to get my head cut off, but I ran to the sideline. I don't remember who said it. They said, okay, Kilson, you remember this is the NFL, right?
Yeah.
Well,
I didn't go back out there. I didn't go back out
to go to the sideline. I thought I was going to get jumped. But anyway,
that Radar talking about, he was see, Chuck Knox. See, if you mess up, Chuck Knox come at you, man. All right? he doesn't care. He'd come at you. And
he was angry.
Oh, yeah.
He was angry, Jerry. He was angry because he was on that Nutri-Slim or Nutri-Fast. Remember that? He was a Nutri-Fast guy. So Chuck was angry because he needed to mix in a steak or a cheeseburger or something, man. He was all angry because he was missing. Let Chuck get on you. Man.
Yeah.
He was food deprived. Don't worry about that.
JB, you know what
on a weight loss regimen?
Yeah.
He used to always say, I'll break your plate before I let you break my plate. I remember that.
Oh, yeah. That game, you're supposed to come back, to the sideline and stuff after the play. So, Radar, he wasn't coming up in where the player was. He went off over on the 10-yard line.
I was trying to see if they had any speakers up in the stand. So I go sit up in the stand.
Chuck Knox was trying to get to him, but he forgot he had the headphones on. They had the wire. Then the wire would only let you go so far. Trying to get to
Hey, gentlemen. Hey, gentlemen.
On the sideline. He about snapped his neck off.
Hey, gentlemen.
Okay.
Is it okay? Gentlemen, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you? Yeah. I apologize. I got to excuse myself. I got a couple of domestic items that I got to do for my wife for 40 years. I got some stuff I got to go do. I know you guys understand.
Understood, brother, man.
30,
Understood.
It's like this in the Bills game. 38 years with my wife, so I understand. David Kilson, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate it.
Bless you guys.
All right.
God bless all of you. Hope to talk to you guys again.
Be careful, bro.
All right. Thank you, man. Thanks for including me. I appreciate it.
Anytime. Catch you next time.
All right. Yes, sir.
JB, you want to hear the end of that story?
I do.
Check,
Yeah,
check this out.
I noticed.
All right.
I saw the end of it, but go
No,
ahead.
no, 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 no.
Let me hear
No,
your
when I look
version.
here. Hey, when I went home to my apartment, right? You know, the whole world was. It's my first Monday night game. Everybody back home. So the phone was ringing so loud. You know, in Buffalo South, that one room official, the phone rings so loud, I could hear it ringing before I even put the key in the door. And it just kept ringing. I was so depressed. I kept slamming the phone. I wouldn't even answer the phone. So at one point, I finally picked it up, and I didn't say anything. I just held it to my ear. I ain't saying anything. And the dude on the other end was just laughing, like just rolling, laughing, right? And it turned out to be my college roommate, Dennis Gentry, playing with Chicago, right?
Oh, Dennis.
So he finally said something. We talked for a while, and I was glad I answered because it made me feel a lot better. But anyway, the next week, it was two teams playing. I still remember this. And they cut right in the middle of that game, and they showed some highlights from the Chicago Bears game. And I know Dennis was back there running them punts back.
Yeah.
And I said, you know, for them to cut in the game, I said, he must have ran all the way back. They didn't just cut in the middle. That fool dropped it. He dropped it on like the hey, I was dialing his number while he was still on the phone. I said, you know what? Yeah, last week was my week, but this week is your week.
It happens. It happens. Yeah, I know. It happens.
Yeah. But anyway. Anyway.
I dropped a couple of them. We were playing the Raiders one time and trying to catch a Ray Guy punt in Rich Stadium with the winds were swirling. I'm running like from the middle of the field over to the sideline and back, trying to catch that ball, and it came down and just, I dropped two of them back to back.
You know who mine was? You know who mine was, really? You know who kicked mine? Roby.
Oh, Reggie Roby?
Oh my God, that dude could hit the Megatramp thing up there as he kicked the ball. But anyway,
yeah, his hang time on his watch, right? He had that wore the watch.
Yeah, you're right. I remember that. He sure did. He used to wear that watch. He sure did. I remember that. Yep. But that was some good old days, though. You know.
Oh yes.
Some good days, and like JB and Riddick said, we had just as much fun off the field as we did on the field. You know, build a lot of good relationships. You know, got a chance to meet OJ. Some of y'all hung out with OJ. Got a chance to meet Rick James, celebrities, and all that kind of stuff. You know, so yeah, it was good. You know, we were the envy of a lot of people. You know, we were the envy of a lot of people. So yeah, it was all good. You know, wouldn't trade it for the world.
Rick James. I do it all again. Even though I can barely walk nowadays, I still do it all again.
Yes, sir. Riddick, I'd ride with you on the back of that motorcycle. Just don't be hitting no speed. Don't be trying to hit no speed bumps on purpose. That's all I gotta say.
Oh hell no, I didn't want no more epidurals.
Yeah, but it was all good. Mark.
Yes, sir.
Who is your audience?
Who
is your audience? Like on the Zoom, who's your audience?
Well, we on the Zoom, basically, I was telling Jerry when we come in, it's more. We started out like with card collecting, football cards, baseball cards, that type of thing, and then we kind of go where the road leads us, talk about life, and I mean, I would say our demographic is probably people our age, exceedingly male. You know, but now we got the singer from the Miracles here. Now we might be the ladies. I mean, he's looking good over there, kicking back. So I mean, we're going to be crossing demographics here. What do they call that? Crossover hit. So
going mainstream.
Yeah, we're crossing over mainstream. So you know, we do good. I mean, we've had some authors and things like that. We're just trying to go in a little different direction with the show and more personal interest, more stories, more talking to people. Like I was showing, you know, football cards, you know, and Jerry.
JB, that's JB.
You know, Rob, and you know, we talk. And inevitably, we end up talking about. Cause I say, you know, I teach alternative high school, second chance, third chance, fourth chance. I was telling Jerry, you know, I have everything from 14 to 21-year-old kids. And you're in education, so a lot of these kids, you know, this is their last opportunity to graduate from high school. So we end up talking about that type of stuff a lot.
That's good, man.
Yeah,
that's good.
That's a good program, bro.
Yeah,
it's been rewarding. You know, it's not always easy, but you know, when you see a kid, a young adult, actually, for the most part, when they think they're going to be a dropout, and you know, I'm blessed, I'm lucky, college, multiple degrees, blah blah blah. but for them to graduate high school is so important, and it's like that first step of success. And a lot of times these kids are the first ones to graduate from high school. And many of them have gone on to college, and I stay in touch with a lot of them still to this day that have graduated. So, but we use a lot of, my room has a lot of Buffalo Bills and memorabilia and sports, and I use a lot of the stories of frame of reference. Tell stories about overcoming, and other than Jerry being a first rounder, you all came from smaller school. I mean, Baylor was not a football giant when you were there, Robert, and
What?
well, they weren't.
No, I'm just joking.
And
Hey,
Rob
hey,
at Millersville
you know who we
State.
beat?
Yeah,
You know who we beat?
Sydney's a singer. I mean, come on, right? So you all came from varied backgrounds, and you made it work, and you came together as a family, and that's the thing that's important. My room, we call it room 6, family. We're a team in there, and
Amen.
I coached for 25, 30 years. So I tell them I'm a horrible teacher, but I'm a good coach and a good mentor. So
That's
we
what it's
learned.
all about.
I think right now teaching has to be the worst job in the world right now, because I mean, I got mad respect for you guys, because you look at the students nowadays. I mean, they don't listen to you, they don't respect you, they don't do anything, they just act out. I mean, it takes a heck of a mentality to go in there and deal with some of these kids that are raised the way they are
I
now.
couldn't do it, Rob. I couldn't do it in a regular school now. What's nice about where we are, there's no cell phones. They come in, they come through the metal detector. It's like you'd see on TV, no book bags, no hoodies, no cell phones, right to the room. So there's not that distraction. When I was in a regular school, the cell phone, the cell phone, the cell phone. I was an athletic director. And I ended up sitting in on some classrooms before I went to where I am now. And oh my God, it was impossible. So I understand completely what you're saying. They just tune you out, and so that's part of the success. I'm the show. They have no choice but to pay attention to me.
There you go. There you go. I did 27 years talking about education. I was
Teaching? Teaching?
We had that, and I was a assistant principal sitting down in Grand Prairie, Texas, suburb of Dallas. Yeah, at the high school, and oh my gosh, it was like the Wild Wild West up in there, boy. I had I had 8 physical fights with kids and parents, and I used to tell those kids, I used to tell them, I said, I'm just like Floyd Mayweather, I'm undefeated. And when I get ready to walk out of here,
got to go.
when I get ready to walk out of here my last day, I still plan on being undefeated. But anyway, you had to kind of use that intimidation factor. So a lot of them wouldn't even think about coming at you.
Right.
Like I said, we had fights with parents. I took 7 guns off of kids.
Sure.
7 guns. During my tenure, I took 7 guns off kids. I tell y'all a funny story. We had this one boy, and a teacher called me on the radio and said he lit some marijuana up in the classroom, right? And I thought she was joking with me. I said, no, not in the classroom. I said, I said, if he is, he got to be the dumbest kid in this whole school. So anyway, I'm walking down, and the closer I get to the room, I can smell it. I said, oh my God, I thought she was joking. So we get in the room, and I start going up and down the aisles and kind of sniffing out, thinking who I, thought it was. So the ones I thought, I had them go out in the hall. I had my police officer out there was in the hall. So he went out there. I had about 7, 8 kids lined up. So the first thing we would do was grab their hand and smell their fingers, right? I got about 2 of them. Then smelling thing, I told them they can go back in the room. I got to this one boy, and I smelled his finger. And I was like, me and him just kind of stood just like in shock. He looking at me, I'm looking at him. The other kids trying to figure out, okay, is that him? Is he the one, lit up, lit the weed up? But anyway, this kid told me? He started laughing. He said, Mr. Holt. He said it wasn't no soap in the bathroom. Okay. That was not marijuana I smelled on his finger. That was the last time I ever smelled somebody's fingers. I had his fingers in my nostrils, and I was like,
oh man.
Anyway, I would see this kid. His name, I almost said his name. I ain't gonna say his name. But anyway, he's from my neighborhood. And after he graduated, I saw him in the neighborhood one time. I was driving through, and I had somebody in the passenger seat. And I blew my horn to call him over to the car. And I said, say, man, come here. And he got mad at me. He said, man, why you keep telling that story all the time? I said, because it's funny. That's why.
Well, I got my kids to stop vaping. That's a big thing now with the vape and all that. So it's a little different in Mr. Ford's room, And I told him, I says, when y'all hawking on that vape in the bathroom, you know where they hide that to get through the metal detector, don't you? I says, you probably don't want to be sticking that thing in your mouth. So that cut that out. That ended the vaping in the
Oh, that's a
bathroom.
good one.
And I
That's a
said,
good one.
and the young ladies, I know where you hide your vape too. So, you know, you really want that in your mouth? So
That
let's
is a
take care of
good
that
one.
problem right quick.
That's the good one right there.
Right
Oh,
on. I
man.
know where you,
If I was still at the high school, I would use that. That's a good one. I like
yeah,
that.
you tell them, I know where you hide that. So you don't want to be
Yeah,
putting it in your mouth.
that's a
Right,
good one. Hey,
right.
go back to JB. You said when we was at Baylor, we didn't have a real good football program. JB, tell them who we whooped up on when we was at Baylor.
Clemson.
But you won one game. That was it.
But who was it against?
Well, here
Who
they
was
go.
it
Against
against? Who was it
Clemson.
against?
Against Clemson.
Yes, sir. We put that whoop,
In the
and they
Peach
won a
Bowl,
national.
wasn't it?
They won a national championship the next year. My junior year, man, we put so much foot in.
No, y'all had a good program. Y'all had a good
Huh?
program. Y'all had a good program.
I'm just joking, boy.
No,
I'm
all
just
right.
joking.
Radar, there was you should have more playing time over a certain player that came out of Clemson and was drafted in the first round. Yeah, I'm not going to say who that was, but he
I'm
sure
not
was
going
no,
there.
that player was no Jerry Butler. So that's
No,
all I'm going to say there.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not going. Hey, I hear you.
all right.
And we good friends. All of us good friends now. So I'm
Yeah,
not going.
yeah.
I understand. We good friends. I'm not going to say anything. But no, JB was on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Thank
tell
you,
you that.
Jeff.
Like I said, when
We all
we used to emulate ourselves after that. We wore our socks long because of JB. We used to try to walk bow legged because of JB. We used to try to beat JB.
Oh
You
man,
know?
that's
But
crazy.
nah, JB was like I said, JB was a bad boy. He's on a whole. I'm gonna tell you this: you got a whole lot of guys that played in the NFL, but because of injuries, didn't get a chance to reach their full
Excel.
potential.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys, the Hall of Fame, gold jackets, and all that. There's a lot of guys that should be wearing gold jackets that are not wearing. There's a lot of guys that are wearing gold jackets, in my opinion. I feel like should not be wearing. But anyway,
Sure.
but yeah, injuries stopped a lot of people from like I said, reaching their full potential. So, but that's part of the game, though.
Yeah.
It's part of the game. You pick up the pieces, and you keep moving. So,
You guys all
Definitely.
doing all right now, though? I mean, I know all of you've had your share of injuries.
my knees, other than my knees, you talk to those guys over there. They got some stuff going on. They
Yeah.
got some stuff going on.
I've had my share of injuries. I guess now that we're on the subject, Monday I go in for my second back surgery. I have a cyst between L3 and 4 and some scar tissue between L4, L5, L5, and S1. And then I just I had an MRI 2 days ago on my C-section, and he said your cervical vertebrae is like it's all messed up. I mean, you got like pinched nerve, you got bulging nerves, and my hands go to sleep. My arms go to sleep. So I guess it's just it's part of the game. But like I said, I would do it all over again because
Yep.
it's what I wanted to
Me
do
too.
when I was a little
I,
kid. And
I say
now,
the same thing, man. I say this. I do it over again too. And
yep.
I got a few. I got a few injuries that can never leave me. I just
Yeah.
everything I do to try to fix it, it just don't seems like it never goes away.
So just I want to wake up one morning pain free, but I know that's never gonna
Oh,
happen.
those days gone, really.
Yeah.
Those days. Sydney, what about when you on that stage, man? Y'all doing all them spin moves and
Oh,
Yeah.
you don't see me doing none of that. My brother Kerry, he played for the Seahawks, so
right.
he's in the group too, and
Oh, okay.
he got some issues
Yeah.
with his body, so
Yeah.
I feel sorry for him because he has to do those moves and stuff, But
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that was your brother. He played
Yeah.
with my cousin out in Seattle back in the early '80s.
Yep, that's right. Yeah.
Ready? Tell him who your brother is.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Used to be the
that's okay.
GM. Now.
My brother,
Uh-huh.
he does the Monday night ESPN, the
That's
Monday night
Rick's brother.
games.
Yeah.
So
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Commentator for Monday Night Football.
That's why he's complimentary always to the Bills. So, yeah, there you go.
yeah.
Yeah.
JB, what about your injuries? JB probably had got more injuries than all of us put together.
Oh my God. I don't even want to talk about it. I fused right ankle and I got left hip done and shoulder replaced. Got my right shoulder replaced and I need my left one replaced. I need a left knee done. I think the thing is as a receiver, I landed a lot on my left side. I don't know why. Most of my, you dive. I don't see guys diving after the ball too much
Today,
today.
you're right. You're right.
That was
I
one
like-
of the things that we would do, and that ground, shoot.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was like playing those cement up there. Now they got
Yeah, it
those
was.
tires that's a little softer.
Yep. Yep.
It's
Yep.
interesting. I worked in the league for it was about 27 years for several teams, and I just over the course of time watching practice, I couldn't believe how soft practice had become. But I understand why.
Yeah.
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 Because they're trying to
Injuries.
cut
Yeah.
down on the injuries. I get that, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying my own experience to see it's just almost like a souped up walkthrough sometimes. And, they want to
Definitely.
get guys to make it to the game, but I think some of the game they're tough out there because they work at it all the time. But I can see that there's probably a lot more mistakes being made today, and I think it's really if by the time you add college because the NCAA came in and says, hey, guys, you can't put in 40 hours a week when we were coming along. They can only do 20 hours now, and that includes the game.
Right.
Mhm.
And now the NFL has regulated so many things also in terms of the practice and when they practice, how long they practice, and when they're off season and all that stuff. And I think it's a business, but it gives longevity to the guys. But
So,
that's
little boy.
just the way they clean
Thank
it
you,
up.
SB. Thank you.
And now they make all that darn money. I mean, we weren't
Right.
making
They got
jack back then.
They got to protect their
Definitely.
investment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
I'll talk to you in a minute. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, man. What?
Now,
All
just,
righty.
All right.
well, anyway, hey, it's all good though.
Right on.
You
Yeah.
know what? I remember about those reunions we had in Buffalo. I remember I used to be so embarrassed because my knees. I've had 7 knee operations. I had a total knee replacement on the right knee, and I got to get one on the left knee. But I remember going up there. I remember getting ready to be around all the guys and the fellows, and I was trying to stretch and everything in the hotel room. I said, because I don't want them to see me walking all jacked up and And we would get there around everybody else. Dude, everybody on TV was walking worse
Everybody's
than me.
walking
I
the
was
same
like,
way.
I thought it was just me. Somebody had a back done, somebody had a
Right.
hip done, somebody had, so
Right.
that's just part of the game,
Yeah.
and that's just
Yeah.
part of getting older. What JB, what you always say, we're on the backside of life, So
Yeah.
that reflection period where you start, thinking about the people to help you get to where you are, and becoming more appreciative of the sacrifice they made to help you get to where you are. And it also makes you look at your parents and stuff like that, because then you realize you are your parents now, and you understand what they went through, to get you to where you are. And, like I said, all the sacrifice they made and everything. So
Yeah.
it all comes full circle, man,
You
Yep.
made a
Right.
comment. You made a
Right,
comment early on. You were talking about how certain guys, you thought, well, they should have been in the Hall of Fame or and injury wasn't for injury. And I've always felt too that you have to play like you're a Hall of Famer, and that's all you can. That's all you really can do. As long as you're satisfied, know that you put everything in it, all the
Yeah.
practices, we miss so much life just getting ready for this sport, and then you leave so much on the field. I
Yeah.
had an orthopedic surgeon. He was saying that and tell the guys how I'm encouraged to say, you know what, your bones are broken and ligaments are torn and stuff, but just know your organs, you're 20 years old
Affected.
from the
Yeah.
inside.
Yeah.
Your chronological age is probably 15 or 20 years older, and that's because your organs have been shifted around ever since you were in Little League, high school,
Right.
and
Right.
in college, and now today,
Right.
guys are getting paid. I mean, some of us may feel
Oh,
different
okay.
about that, how guys are getting money in college, but
Yeah.
there's so much money being made now.
Yeah. Right.
that
Real
was
talk. Yeah.
Probably the right thing to do. I wish they would reach back and share a little bit
That'd
more
be nice.
Yeah.
with the old school, but I get it. They're finally at least doing the right thing now.
Yeah.
But you all paved the way, though. If there wasn't guys like y'all, you were part, like I said, not only foundation of the Buffalo Bills, but foundationally the league itself. It's kind of built on your back, so to speak. You all sacrificed, and you had players making 40-50 million a year. If it wasn't for players like yourself, that wouldn't be happening. You
True.
guys, you put in the blood, sweat, and the tears, so to speak. And I just, wanted to acknowledge that, and
Yeah.
you shouldn't be forgotten, and that's for sure.
Paved the way, man. Paved the way,
And we went all out. Like JB was saying, they don't even go all out in practice anymore. But I understand, they don't want injuries. You got to protect your investment and all that
Sydney,
kind of stuff.
I mean, you chased a dream for how many years, man? You played everywhere, brother. I mean, USFL, Canada, minor leagues, NFL. I mean, that's awesome, man. See, to me, those stories and people like yourself are far more interesting than the mega $1 million quarterback that basically gets it handed to him. No offense, but that's the way it is. I mean, a guy like you said, you played everywhere and anywhere, and obviously it's because you liked the game. You wanted to be in the game. It wasn't about the money, I'm sure.
Nah, it was never. For me, it was never really about the money. I mean, I think most of us kind of feel that way when we were younger. And it wasn't about the money. It was just about the game itself and just the enjoyment of it and the camaraderie and the guys. You know what I mean? That's really what the most important thing to me was. Yeah. Today, I would probably say the money.
It would most definitely be the money.
I'm no different. I'm chasing the money, but when I was younger, I didn't care. I did what I loved, and if I got paid, I got paid. I didn't care.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, man.
You go back to JB. You're talking about these college athletes now, like Deion Sanders' son. That boy made what he made $4 or $5 million last year and all that kind of stuff. We was talking about how you remember how you recruit guys to come to your college. They give you that little per diem. They give you maybe about $60-$70. I remember, man, we used to put like 30. We used to put half over in our pocket. We were like, well, they ain't gonna get this half right here. No. we throw them around for the weekend on $30, and I'm like, man, look now these guys. Travis Hunter. Oh my God! You see the house this kid is living in? Ain't the old dormitory anymore. I mean, oh my God, the money they making now is just. But you know what? And you get a lot of people who don't really understand. They get upset and they say they're paying these guys all this money. Da 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 da. But my response to them always is, football now, it generates so much money, college football and NFL.
That's right.
Like, who is the money supposed to go to? These guys are, risking life and limb. What you want the owners to put it all in their pocket? No, it needs to go to the guys who are out there, taking a chance at, each year. This might be your last year that you ever played.
That's right.
Now, I had a guy that played high school football with me that broke his neck. He was paralyzed for a little while, but he eventually came out of here. And then I had one of my Baylor college teammates broke his neck. He's 19 years. He's a quadriplegic he died for 30 years. He died at 49. As a matter of fact, that's what I named my son after, a real good guy. But, you taking a risk like that, you can't come to me and tell me that, all the money's being generated. It should not go to those guys. These are the guys who are out there risking life and limb to, fulfill their dreams or whatever. So
100. Yep. 100%.
Yeah. So, but anyway, man. This is good stuff right here, boy. It's just good to see. You know what? We send it out to a lot of people. We only had 4 or 5 show up with Kilson. He's gone now. But this is good, Yeah,
I can't thank y'all enough for coming on. All I'm gonna say is I'm just a lifelong Bill fan, but what I do in life as a teacher, as an educator, you're representative of people that I admire and I respect, and I just can't thank you guys enough for coming on and taking the time with me and talking to me. And this is going to be going to the fans, and they're going to get a little better insight into who Robb Riddick is, Radar Holt, Sydney, and Jerry, and it goes beyond football, transcends football.
Yeah, yeah. The reunion is
it's just great. It's just great to see everybody, man. Really.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Sitting at the reunion is good. Just to be able to. For me to talk to JB and see your face, boy. Riddick, Robb Riddick, Sidney Justin. It's just the reunion is good. It's like I say, it's just like you picked up from yesterday.
This way for like 40 years now. We're still going strong. So.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I ain't going nowhere, Riddick. I ain't going nowhere.
Well, hopefully I don't either, but you never know. When the time's up, the time's up.
No. I said I'm talking about friendship and relationship. It ain't going nowhere. It's
Oh,
gonna be
no.
like we'll take it with us to our last day on this earth. We'll take it with us. So it ain't going nowhere. It's all good, you know.
The brotherhood, baby. The
Yes,
brotherhood.
sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Oh,
Unit.
indeed.
Yeah, it's all good. When
So,
you spend as much time in the trenches with each other as we did, shoot, you can't help but to have that strong bond, you know. So
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
and
and even
Mark,
outside of the trenches,
do what now?
and even outside of the trenches. I mean,
Good
that's where a
thing,
lot of the love was shared.
good
So,
thing for lasting and for lasting Buffalo South Motor in, JB.
yeah, that too, McKinley Park in, all of them.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go. There you go.
So, but
It was all good though. Number of good
yeah,
memories though. But
yeah.
Mark, hey, appreciate you, man, bringing everybody together. You know what we do?
um,
We'll do Zoom sometime from now and then because like I say people checking out every year. Like OJ just left us here not too long ago.
right.
People checking out. So you try to come together more because I tell people, I say you never know the last time you're seeing somebody.
Yeah, you're right.
So and on our Zooms, the numbers are starting to dwindle. Not people checking out, but just because people not joining, they're not getting on. So I
Yeah.
mean, just so to have a little gathering like this, and have
Oh, this is great, man. This is great.
yeah. And like I said, appreciate you providing a platform, for us to be able to
Thank you,
come
Mark.
together.
Anytime, man. Anytime.
Yeah.
Anytime I'm always here. And like I said, I love the Bills. Like I love my wife and my family and my dad, and then the Buffalo Bills. And
I hear
everybody
you.
that's ever worn that uniform, whether it was for one game, 10 games, 10 years. That's it, man. Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Thank
that's
you.
it, man.
Right on, man. Right on.
That's it. I got my wife and my kids and my dad and my dogs, and other than Buffalo Bills, man. That's like I was telling Jerry before we got going, man. I used to fight kid. I was skinny, scrawny. I grew up to be 6'1", and I willed myself to be tall, but I was a frail kid, and I used to fight because they like the Raiders and the Dolphins and the this. I'm like, how in the hell can you like a team not the Buffalo Bills if you live in the 716? There's something wrong with you. And fight, man. I would fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. And
Right.
they'd beat the crap out of me. I didn't care, man. I'd come back for more, So that's
But
it.
you say the hell with breaking tables, you was breaking faces.
Hell yeah. Well, I got mine broke. I didn't get this gold because I was the greatest fighter, but that's right. That's right.
Hey, how many years you been married?
We got married in 1995, so it's going to be 30 years this year. And we got together this is good stuff. June 11th, 1988 was when we met, and we've been together ever since then, high school sweethearts, so to speak. And yeah, it'll
That's
be
a rarity, man.
yeah,
That's something
95,
rare.
so 30 years, 38 years all total, 37, 38 years all total.
Something like that. Yeah.
Very beautiful girl.
The reason I was asking you because I was trying to make a comparison. You've been having, like you said, 38 years and never missing a Bills game. You've done that longer than you've been married, huh?
Loyal, well, close,
Yeah.
I'm
like
loyal.
it.
I'm loyal. What can I say? I'm loyal.
Yeah, no,
I
that's
love what
good.
I
That's,
love.
great,
I love
man.
what I love. I love my wife. I love my kids. I love the Buffalo Bills, man. I love my
that's
dad.
good.
I said I'm
Yeah.
adopted. If it wasn't for him, my life would have been terrible. Father Baker's in Buffalo, Lackawanna, right? I'm a Baker boy. So my dad, out of the orphanage, Father Baker's. So, and
Okay.
that bond, that was the Bills were part of that. That bond's stronger than blood, man. Me and my
I hear you.
it more so being adopted. I mean, my dad loved me more than if I was his blood. Because trust me, I was a pain in the ass. So
Yeah.
I drove my pops crazy, but he took me to the Bills game every Sunday.
That's good, man.
Every Sunday.
good.
Didn't matter, man. If I get in trouble or bad grades, he never, man, come on, let's go. I'd be in trouble and he'd be down on me. Come on, let's go. We're going to the game.
Yeah.
Because that was our time, that was our time to,
Right.
if Mark was
Fine.
in trouble,
Yeah.
and Mark was doing this, and Mark was, it's okay.
Yeah.
We leave that, getting in the car, we turn on the radio and listen to pregame and Van Miller, Stan Barron, this, that, the other thing. And, we get to the game. So that all the other stuff. So I was so grateful for that. And then it helped me kind of get my head together, get in the right direction. Cause, my dad said, even he could be really mad, come on, let's go. We're going.
Yeah.
It was
That's
awesome.
good, man.
That's
Yeah.
great.
good.
That's great, bro.
Said section B2 and Rich, and then it was so section 129, row 21, C3 and 4. So
Okay.
say I that's it. never gonna leave my brain, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. That's good stuff, man. That is good stuff. Yeah.
So I'm not gonna keep you guys any longer. I appreciate the time. I can't thank you enough. Robb Riddick, Robert Radar, Holt, Sydney Justin, Jerry Butler, y'all are awesome. I'm a rocker, a metalhead, play guitar and all that, but I'm gonna check out the Miracles when you come to Florida.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get my soul on and my
All right.
R&B now. So I'm gonna check you guys out. You come to Florida.
All
Definitely.
right.
Sid, you need to send him your CD. That remember what you sent me with all them songs on there? I'll send it to him.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah. Going downtown. And
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, you can send it to him.
You got a new fan, man.
I'm gonna send it to
I'm
you,
all in,
Mark.
brother. I'm all in. Like I said, right?
I'm
Bill's
gonna send it to you.
Right on, Mark.
family, man.
Right
We
on.
family now, so I'm gonna check it out. Can't wait. I'm looking forward to it.
For sure.
Yo,
for
just
sure.
shout out. My wife's name is Chris. So this is for Mark and Chris, and we need a little slow dance, and we can do our thing, and I can thank you. You know what I mean? So
Right on, bro.
all right. Thank you so much,
All right, Mark.
everybody, for
You
coming
be
on.
good.
Hey, man.
Good seeing everybody.
Good to see everybody.
Yeah, good seeing all of y'all.
For sure.
We will
Take
be in
care,
touch.
everybody.
All
We'll
right.
be in
All right.
touch.
Right on,
All
right
right,
on.
man. Y'all take it easy. All
Thanks,
of you.
Thank you,
Radar.
JB. Talk to you
All
late
right.
day.
You too.
Man.
Be good,
Okay.
fellas.
All
All
right.
right.